And this is us hitting record for a brand new edition of Bid Nerds Hot Takes Who'd You Rather. Hello, everybody. My name is John Polnick. I'm coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. You can see the strip right over my shoulder. Did I use the right thumb? I did. Look at that. I was looking at my screen. That's beautiful downtown Las Vegas. You might see right next to me is my good friend and partner, Michael Deeb, your co-host of Bid Nerds. How you doing, Michael Deeb?
Yeah, I just changed my hat so it looked like it's a different day.
Oh, look at that. Nice work. So, so you guys know, Michael Deeb is not in Las Vegas. He's in San Francisco. So we pump him in so that we can do this show for you guys. If you know Bid Nerds, you know that we're your daily nerd out on the most interesting cars on Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer every single day, Monday through Friday, during the 9 o'clock hour Pacific time. But this is something that we do that's a little different. This is what we call the Bid Nerds Hot Take. Hot car of the day. Who'd you rather? Every day when you get on the internet and you're surfing around and you're drinking your coffee in the morning, and maybe you're not actually on Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer like we are all the time. Maybe you're just kind of like cruising around the internet. There's always just, if you go to Jalopnik or CarBuzz or any of the different places that you go, they're all talking about the same darn thing. There's a hot car of the day, right? And so it seems like the hot car of the day right now is this 2021 Cadillac Escalade. What is this, an ESV?
ESV.
Yeah, to me, I don't know. Does that mean, is that short for rental car in some other language? Because that's all this thing is to me. I'm sorry, I'm dropping a nerd turd on it right out of the gate. I prefer to call them turd nerds, but look, Michael Deeb, maybe you can tell us a little bit about this big, huge utility vehicle. It is classy looking, and you are going to see an S ton of them on the strip down here in Las Vegas as soon as they hit the rental fleet. So what can you tell us about this thing?
So this is the fifth generation of the Escalade. General Motors has essentially updated the Suburban platform. And so this is the latest iteration, the fifth generation Escalade on the new Suburban platform. And, what Cadillac is trying to do is continue to up the ante with luxury and finally pump some technology into these cars. And we start with the most basic, and that is that this car has an independent rear suspension, which means it should finally ride like a luxury vehicle that they keep professing it to be. Borrows a lot of design elements from the Escala concept car in 2016. So it took a long time to go from the show circuit to what is essentially the production vehicle. But what we've got now is the new hotness, completely redone. I would imagine not a single element of this car is borrowed from the previous generation vehicle. So it winds up being, again, with Cadillac's very extreme sharp creases and sharp edges, take it or leave it styling. I happen to be a big fan because all of the Cadillac cars are distinctly Cadillac. Yeah. I don't necessarily have to like creases to like that they have their own design language. And I commend General Motors on doing that, because typically GM is run by the bean counters and not by the designers. So the fact that Cadillac has carved out a little niche for themselves with a family resemblance should be applauded. The rest of the vehicle is all new, all of the latest whiz bang gizmos. I don't know that these have autonomous driving, but I can guarantee you that they are created from the engineers from the ground up to host autonomous features that may or may not roll out as these cars begin to hit the market. But what we're looking at now for the 21 is that this is basically with a 420 horsepower and 460 pound-foot V8. These things are going to set you back about $78,000 before you add options, but the options will add up quickly. Car and Driver looked at one, and their test vehicle was well over $115,000. And that's without a dealer markup, which for sure the Cadillac dealers are going to mark these cars up, at least for the first year or two, until they start to pile up on their lots. But if you have to have the latest, if you have to have the biggest and the baddest, the new Cadillac Escalade is here. What do you think?
Well, Boy, okay, here's what I can tell you about a Cadillac Escalade. When you're driving back from LA after Luftgekühlt, and your air-cooled Porsche convertible that has a hole in it because someone vandalized it, I can tell you that when you pull over to help your stranded friend who is in a turbo 911 930 that has lost its fuel pump on the side of the 15 going up Cajon Pass, and all of a sudden a huge ass rain squall dumps down on you, and now you're in a 993 with a garbage can size hole in the roof, and you're being poured on, and you got to get your buddy you got to pick him up, and then we're going to take him to a rental car place, and then pick up an Escalade, and then drive back to his car and meet the AAA guy. I'll tell you that I'd rather be in that's the only time I'd rather be in an Escalade is when I have a hole in the roof of my Porsche and it's raining. That's it. I mean, this is a fantastic rental car.
And when you're John Polnick and your friend is Rami Mirza, that happens more often than you think.
Yeah, I don't. This is purely hypothetical. Pulling that out of my butt. I don't know where this idea would have come from, but no. I mean, these things are just awesome to you get in, you cruise, you own the road, you're up and above everything, and you just can you can't help but feel like, yeah, maybe I should drop a hip hop album this weekend or something. I mean, it's just it's baller. I mean, I think that's where the name. I mean, this is the car that they started using that term probably. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty neat, but a lot of money for what, really?
I take issue. Lincoln with the Navigator and Cadillac with the Escalade basically took their basic SUV platforms. We're talking $35,000, $40,000 cars, and they tacked in some cheap wood. They tacked in some, lousy leather and didn't do anything to make these cars drive any better than their more pedestrian and utility counterparts. And what winds up happening is the utility ones hold their value pretty well, and these luxury ones wind up depreciating like a stone, and they don't hold up well because they were never designed to ride smoothly.
I don't know, man. I look at an Escalade from 2000, I don't know, call it 2011 or whatever. You see them with 250,000 miles on them all the time. Or at least the powertrain holds up, but the interiors just get roached out.
The dash, that's what I'm talking about. And what you're paying for is the interior. Otherwise, if you just need the powertrain, you would have got the utility version. And you're making my point for me. Plus, that 200,001 JP smells like the latest solution of vape. Like it's gonna be like lavender.
Sure. Yeah, because it's had 7 owners, and that guy, well, look, I mean, compare it to, what's its big competitor? I mean, you're talking about like a Range Rover, not a Range Rover Sport or one of the cool variants, but like a Range Rover. You're gonna be lucky if you get 50,000 miles out of that thing before it like starts causing all kinds of horrible headaches, and also the interior breaks down and just disintegrates. So I don't know. And frankly, even though the older ones didn't have the independent suspension, they handle better than the Range Rovers. They just not the sports, but the regular full size Range Rover. They're horrible. They're slushy. They're numb. They're just awful. I would way rather have this Escalade. But look, the exercise of this show, the hot take, who'd you rather with Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer. What I want to talk about is, how much is this car? How much are these going to be, or are they already?
$110,000 to $115,000.
I just don't think there's any good reason to ever spend that much money on any SUV other than maybe, and there's like one exception, and that would be like, a G squared Mercedes, But those are $200,000. So those are way more expensive than this. So at $100,000, what have you seen on Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer? Is there any something that you think you'd rather have than one of these?
So that's an interesting thing. And my guess is that if you're looking at a Cadillac from a utility standpoint, you need that third row seats. So the obvious choice to me would be like an Audi Q7, but Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer don't sell Audi Q7s, which is the Volkswagen Porsche SUV that has the third row. Really the only thing that it would compare to is its little cousin, which would be like, take for instance, a 1999 Chevrolet Suburban, which in this case, here's a 99 4x4 with a 5.7 liter V8. This car only had 30,000 miles, and the owner slapped a Whipple supercharger on there. Probably stroked another 150 horsepower out of that 5.7 liter V8. And out of Iowa, this vehicle sold for $28,000. So I'd rather have this and put 70 grand in the bank, JP.
Well,
Like,
you'd have to peel off at least $1,500, that's $2,500 for a new set of wheels and tires, because those are hideous. Oh my god.
yeah.
Yeah.
The wheels aren't bad. It's the fact that he's got low profile tires. If you put knobby tires on those wheels, the wheels are fine. It's the tires you'd have to spend. And I agree with you. And this thing's got the leather interior. I mean, this is as nice as the same year Escalade. I promise you. It drives identical. And this one's faster because it's got a supercharger. So I'll take this, JP. You can keep your overpriced Escalade. I'll take this and save 70 grand to spend on air-cooled Porsches or Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, it sure looks like they're towing something with this car, and it looks, and this is a vehicle that you
perfect
actually could do. Yeah, you could tow your boat, you could tow your camper,
totally.
You could tow your garbage trailer or something like that, whatever. I mean, I don't really want one of these, but I could see this is. You know what? Here's the thing, I don't think there's any reason to ever spend more than. Sorry, guys, we're having a couple of technical issues here. I don't think there's ever a reason to spend more than $30,000 on an SUV ever.
Right.
Ever. Because any dollar that you spend more than that on an SUV are dollars that could go towards another sports car. I would rather have this $30,000, or 20. How much was this thing that
this one went
Suburban?
for $28,000 last year, and this car was only 40 grand brand new. So this guy put all this miles on it and had it for 20 years and only lost $12,000. That's amazing.
And at this point, it's going to be worth that for almost ever, as long as you keep it in decent condition.
Totally.
And it's not going to cost you anything to maintain it. You're not going to have, software upgrades that are just not going to work on the dashboard because the whole thing is glass now. I mean, it's just absurd, right? No, I actually, I'm with you. I kind of like this truck. I think you're right. It's way cheaper, and you can pocket a bunch of money and buy, a 911 in the boat and the camper to go with it for the just geez Louise. So I don't know, but I also think that it's not quite flashy enough, because part of the reason why you buy an Escalade is because you want to be flashy. You got to show off. You got to flex. You got to be that cool guy, right? And because no one who has nobody's that's performing down in Tennessee down at the what's the big I blew that joke. But anyways, you got to have some place for all your guitars or whatever.
Right.
If you're bringing the band down, you got to have a place for the groupies. So you got to look cool, right? So why not get something that looks cool, has some room in it, and is also insanely fun to drive like this? Look at that. This is a Porsche Cayenne GTS. And wait for it, guys. It's not just a Cayenne GTS. This is a Cayenne GTS with a 6-speed manual transmission.
Oh my God, look at that.
These are so much fun. Probably weighs about as much as the Suburban that you picked, but this thing will get around the Nürburgring a lot faster, and you're going to have a hell of a lot more fun. You can still tow your boat. It's got a trailer hitch. It is a manual, so that's great for towing. Look at this thing, man. It's black on black with the wheels. This is so
JP,
good.
I bet if you ever owned a black on black Cayenne GTS with a 6-speed, you'd never sell it.
It's true. It is true. And full disclosure, I have owned a Cayenne GTS manual, but it had a beige interior. And unfortunately, with Porsches of these era, they didn't know how to make a black dash and black door cards and do other colors to combine to make a space that you actually want to spend time in. No, instead they decided to go a sea of beige from as far as you can see all the way forward to the dashboard to the headliner to the back. Beige, peanut butter, beige everywhere. Horrible. Unlike this nearly perfect GTS. I am
JP,
dropping. Oh God, I'm getting funny.
This car is beautiful. 76,000 miles out of Scottsdale, Arizona. It's got the 21-inch wheels, PCM, Bose, navigation. This car had a fresh clutch. It's only had a couple of owners. I mean, that is it. That's probably the nicest E1 Cayenne existence. I mean, that's
yeah. I mean,
awesome.
look at how gorgeous that thing is. Now, a 6-speed manual belays all that weight. It makes the thing feel light and nimble. It's unbelievable. This is a 2006, so it's a 2009, so it's a .2 generation of the first gen Cayenne, and it's also the second year of the .2, which means that the entertainment infotainment center is slightly better. The telephone Bluetooth actually works.
Cool.
Unlike the earlier one, you can get satellite. Now, unfortunately, this one does not have PDDC, which is kind of surprising, given that this is one of the more expensive ones that has ever sold on BAT. I think this one went for 40 something, 43, 41,000. Yeah, which was I think the high water mark. So I kind of chose the most expensive one. But they, our good friend Paul Jarrett over at God and Porsche of Las Vegas, right down the street from me. I'm trying to use the right thumb. Yeah, I did the right thumb.
Yeah.
He drives a GTS Panamera. I want to say it's probably 2 years old or something like that.
Right.
And his car just came up on the warranty just ended. So maybe it's 3 years old or something like that. So he's trading it in, and someone traded in a a carmine red GTS Cayenne, not a manual one, but one of the prettiest ones I think I've ever seen. Oops, sorry guys, I'm on the wrong screen. And it is, with the black interior and with the Tiptronic, 50,000 miles. I mean, and that thing's probably at least $10,000 less than this 6-speed one. So if you don't want to row through your gears, if you don't want that third pedal, and you do just want to be kind of like shuttled around, but also still be able to handle and go around corners when you feel like it, the Tiptronic actually ain't bad on this rig.
All right.
So you're saving a lot of money and looking a lot cooler. So there it is. That's kind of our bid nerds, cars and bids, bring a trailer. Who'd you rather? So I don't know. So are we sticking with our picks, Deeb? Is that what we're doing?
No, I would absolutely, for the money, I would absolutely take your car over the other two.
I flipped you.
Not even a question. Once again, you picked a beautiful black car that I would break my no black car for thing. And yet
right.
that
You're not
thing
a black
is
car guy. Yeah.
That thing is gorgeous. I love it, especially with the 6-speed. So I'm all about that Cayenne GTS for sure.
So skip the 2021 Cadillac Escalade ESV, pocket yourself a grip of cash, and go out and get, hell, with the amount of money that you're saving, you could get the GTS Cayenne with a 6-speed manual and a Suburban and a boat for the same price as that stupid ESV, and save yourself a world of trouble. The only problem you're going to have at that point is where you're going to need a bigger garage, but that's a good problem to have. So there it is, guys. This has been another Bid Nerds Hot Take. Who'd you rather? Thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure you join us every Monday through Friday in the morning during the 9 o'clock hour in Pacific time, when we nerd out on the most interesting cars and bids, and bring a trailer. We do that every day of the week. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when we're on, and you find out when we do one of these hot takes. Tell us what car you'd like us to compare with something that's on Cars and Bids and bring a trailer. Tell us what you think of our picks. What do you think? Did we pick the wrong cars? Is there something that would have been better than that ESV? Or are we just idiots and we should just get the ESV? Let us know. We sure like to hear from you guys.
That's definitely going to be the consensus. People love the Escalade, and this new one is going to have people going bananas. Yeah, GM's on a roll right now for sure. They're making some new product finally.
Yeah. Right on. All right, we'll find one at a Hertz Rent-A-Car anytime soon, and we'll see you on the next episode, or we'll see you tomorrow morning for Bid Nerds. Thanks, guys.